we have a person on the hot seat here who is not necessarily a coach or a team or anything. The guy on the hot seat here is Arch. And you know what would and to start, let me start with a stat here for Arch, okay? Because we just the stats. We love the stats here. Stats tell some of the picture, don't always tell the whole picture. So we're here to help clear things up a bit. So when Arch 60%, let's start here with Arch, okay? Completion percentage, 60%. Now, that's low for a person, in my opinion, who I like, a guy like myself here, Eugene. I like my quarterbacks passing in at least the mid 60%. Okay. But here comes the problem with Arch. 60% is what his completion average is for the season. All right. When you look below, like I said, the stats only tell part of the picture. They don't tell the full picture. When you look into those stats, when you look into that, that includes a game against Sam Houston where he threw for 85.7%. Okay? 85.7%. So even a game, because he's only played 5 games, and you think, how bad do you have to play in your other games to have only 5 games played with one of those games where you have an 85.7? Let's give the guy 86% on the roundup. The guy's got 86% completion percentage in that one game, 1/5 of his games. He's got 86% completion percentage and still lands at 60. that tells you how those other games went. Now, against Florida, 55%. We know that's not cutting it, right?
No.
In a win against UTEP, 44%. In the loss against Ohio State, 56.7%. I think San Jose, he is 63% there. What is going on here in Texas, in your opinion, guys? Is it the hype, of living up to Peyton and Eli now when it comes to this? The family legacy, the Manning legacy. It's the gift and the curse, Eugene, because at one hand, are you saddled with expectations that are unfair to you? Yes, you are. On the other hand, are you also saddled with incredible NIL deals? Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
For the exact same reason. Because if your last name was not Manning and you had numbers like this, where you got a game where you pass for 44%, you're at Texas starting for the Texas Longhorns, and you pass for 50-something percent, like in multiple games. That's not going to cut it for a lot of people. No. It's not going to cut it. You got to get a lot of other people whose last name is not Manning benched. But is this unfair expectations here on the kid, or where do you think is going on here?
A little, but I mean, you're right. I mean, it comes with the territory now, right? It's not like the money before when we were watching college football in our younger days. That, I mean, let's just face it, they were getting money, but it was probably a lot under the table. Now it's all in the open. We all know what's out there. We all know what they're getting. We all hear the reports, and you're right. So it is a combination of, the last name, obviously, and we know the money. And he was a number 1 recruit coming out of high school, right? Everyone wanted. It almost felt like the Carmelo Anthony tour when we knew where he's at every moment. We knew what school he was at. But again,
where his flights were tracking his plane, seeing where he's landing, seeing where he's going.
And so the one thing I think right now we can all put to bed, he's not coming out this year, right? Because this is a 2-year project. There's no way.
I never thought he was coming out this year. I never thought he was.
Right. I guess if there's any kind of gray or any kind of like hope, if you're a Texas fan, is that second half against Florida. It looked like he's finally just letting the ball go. Because there was first half, I watched the first half, and he was literally just staring his receiver down. And the Florida defenders, like he's staring receiver down. There are 3 defenders around the Texas receiver. He comes it in there. Amazing he didn't get intercepted because the quarterbacks were just watching his eyeballs. And you're seeing a lot of that, like still kind of trying to get, just not letting it go. And I think if you watch it a little bit in the second half, and he kind of got more of the rhythm. He's just kind of letting it go. Now that could be also Florida's playing a little more prevent defense, not blitzing a lot, but you see glimpses of it. But again, I'm a little concerned. I mean, I was like when I first watched the Ohio State game, I was like, okay, you're going against national champion. I'm gonna give you a little pass here. You're this is a tough game. You're playing number one team in the country, but let's give you a pass. This first game. But this like those games where you should be putting up stats. And I know he did. I know he put up stats in one of them, but the second game was like that should be the team you should be like blowing out. Those are the teams you're paying them to come to you or whatever, vice versa. Like those are teams you put those cupcake games on your schedule to get like this guy reps, right? You're putting this
Right.
okay,
Right. These
right,
games to be like the layup games, right? And you're in there fighting
right.
for your life in these games. Like
Yes. And to your point on the completion percentages, yeah, like a good college quarterback, you should be in the 70s. And so I just want to do a little
destroying people, right?
right. Yeah, Carson Beck right now for Miami, he's at 74% completion percentage.
Come on, bro.
That's where
You can't have Carson Beck destroying you. So Carson Beck's at what's Carson Beck's percentage right now?
74%.
14 points higher.
Yeah.
14 points higher than Arch. I'm about to look up your boy Quinn Ewers, man. I'm about to do the Texas fans like that. Let's just go ahead and throw Quinn Ewers in here. The off hated, Quinn was hated when he was ran out of Texas there. They're treating him like he was a bum when he left. All right, so Quinn left with a 65.8 completion percentage. 65.8 for Quinn Ewers when he left there. Right. Now, his first year, though, to get it to Arch, though, Quinn Ewers' first year is 58%. He jumped from 58% to 69% his second year. So maybe we see a jump like that in Arch, maybe. I don't know.
You got to. I mean, that's the thing. That's hope. Like I said,
if Arch is coming in at 60, he's a little bit higher than if it depends on where he finishes here the first year. I just would like to see him get over 60, bro.
Yeah,
because it doesn't get easier from here. And I find that quarterbacks. This is what I loved about Baker coming out like this. That accuracy. I feel like it's just when it's there, it's really there. That's why I love Jaden Daniels when he's coming out too. That's why I love Lamar. It's an accurate passer to football. This is it cause for concern? Yeah, the kid's young. He still has his whole career ahead of him. Is it cause for concern there?
I don't know, man, because I was going back. I was looking back at the schedule. Like so, like those next three games, they all play at Texas, right? So you're paying San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston. Those are teams you're paying to come into your place at your home, right? So, I'd be a little concerned. I'm
paying to come in and make that seat hot for Arch. There, basically, what you're saying.
Yeah, because I mean, these are like I said, those three teams, like they're not just coming to come to your school just to get whooped on. Like you're usually paying them money. Now again, he did put up again the stats. The one team like you saw against Sam Houston, like he put up those stats. Okay, that's what you're looking for out of March. So at least it's there. Like you see, it's there, and then you saw a little bit of second half. So hopefully they can just build on that. But I'm still a little cautious if I'm still a little nervous. If I'm a Texas fan. It's like I have very small sample size of a lot of good stuff, but I have a huge sample size of a lot of like, ooh, he's our number one guy. Are we sure? He's like, I mean,
is there any trepidation there though? Because if you bring a guy, you got to think about getting a guy like Arch, right? You probably feel like you won the college lottery there, man, right? You got the last name Manning coming in there. You got the number one recruit coming in there. Are you really ready to run this guy out of town in 5 games?
No, I mean, not going to run him out, but it's just like, you would expect, okay, it's not like he didn't play some games last year. We got a little taste of him. You just were kind of expecting to see him to throw the ball. Like that's what we're doing. And hopefully that's what he does. Hopefully after the second half of this Florida game, hopefully looks at that and goes, and hopefully the coach is looking like, dude, just do this. It's like I'd rather you throw the ball down the field and just make the mistakes versus trying to be perfect all the time. I think that's what happened with I think that happens a lot with just young quarterbacks. It's like just let it rip. Trust your guys, trust, and if you see something better, go for it. So let's see how it goes. But I'm like you, just a little concerned for this is like the number one. He was the number one guy. Now again, if he had Manning and you looked at it and go, yeah, he has an okay arm, but just he's more athletic than both.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely
For
probably
you,
scrambling more in the first few games than they've ever
yes,
scrambled in their college careers. But
exactly, right,
what's interesting though, and the really thing that really, I wouldn't even say it's interesting. The most concerning situation in Arch's very young career here, because I do believe in giving these kids a chance to turn around, to really work out the kinks. Whether you're
right,
rookies, I'm gonna give a rookie a good year and a half. I'm not pressing them to come out and be out the gate good. The concerning moment to me is actually in a win. UTEP is the most concerning moment that I see here when I look at his young career. So when you're looking at UTEP statistically, you're looking at a win for them, which they had to have, but it's UTEP. So of course you're going to win that game. It's just the way people are thinking about it. But the concerning part is 114 yards. You can say, well, if he threw the ball 12 times, that's fine. But he threw the ball 25 times. For 114 yards. Completion percentage was 44% in that game. And his QBR was 30.
right,
30.2 against UTEP. Now, if we go and say all these numbers were against Ohio State, these numbers would be abysmal, even though his Ohio State numbers weren't way better. 56.7% completion, 170 yards against Ohio State. He threw it 30 times that game. 61 QBR, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. UTEP, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The UTEP one definitely being the most concerning out of all the rest. Because of course you put 300 up on Sam Houston. Of course, you almost gave San Jose State 300 as well, getting it 295. So that's what I kind of expect you to do against those teams. Florida, you gave them 263. He was fighting in there a little bit. But 55% completion percentage is not going to do it for you. 2 interceptions is not going to do it.
right.
So that's a little concerning. And when you look at some of these other games, when you look at the fact that his Ohio State game, that this is where we talk about the statistics, always telling part of the story, not telling all the story, is that even when you look at the yardage, he had 114 yards in UTEP, for example, right? But 23 of those yards came on one play.
Right.
So those other plays, what was that? 91 yards. You got to buy the other 10 passes to get to those 91 yards. Is not encouraging. It's not encouraging, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this just needs to get better. I do think the kid is young. He's 21, I want to say.
Yeah.
Give the kid some time. He still should have some time here. But I do think that when you are, it's like the Shedeur Sanders situation. It's kind of playing out similar ways, except Shedeur was just doing better at this time. Is that your last name can be gift and curse, man. Your last name will be the reason why you get all those NIL deals and why people like you and what draws a lot of attention to you. But your last name, if you're not performing up to your predecessors who had that name, then that gets hotter. That C gets hotter for you. The microscope gets larger for you.
Absolutely.
So the C's got a little bit hotter for Arch coming into this week. We'll see kind of how that goes over the next few weeks. If he plays, winning fixes all, man.
Exactly.
Arch goes out there and starts winning games. I mean, people aren't really going to care.
No, absolutely not.
Or if he just contributes, he puts up a fighting effort here in a losing in the losing game. If he's throwing for multiple touchdowns and no interceptions and putting up 300-400 yards, he could still have losses and people still say, hey, well, at least we think we got our guy here. Right now, it's questionable if you got the guy even in wins. It's looking questionable if you got the guy. So we'll see how that goes. He's got hopefully a long career ahead of them for us to kind of find out and see.